Are you looking for a great food to feed your dogs? Do you want something that is a little bit healthier? Well, here we have Caesar. We have the roaster. I hope I'm saying this right. The rotisserie chicken flavor. Rotisserie chicken flavor. Now, you can get this in chicken or beef because it'll say beef right here where it says chicken. And the difference is you can see the chicken down here. You can see the dog, and then Caesar is the brand. Now, they do have this in beef. The difference is the beef is going to look just like this bag, but down here where it's blue, it's going to be purple, and it's going to have beef on it. So it's going to, the beef is just going to look just like this, but it's going to be purple down here instead of blue. This is a really good food to feed your small dogs mainly. I don't recommend big dogs because I don't know. They say this is good for them to easier to digest, especially in small dogs. Now, big dogs, they will probably be able to, but it'll take them a little longer to digest. So if you have a small dog, I recommend you feeding them Caesar. You can put a little water in this if you would like once you pour it in her bowl or their bowl, just to help soften it up a little bit so it won't be so hard for them to chew. Now this is hard to open because like I thought I would be able to open it from at the top and just rip it off like right here, but I can't do that. Like I thought I would just be able to rip it here, but it's just so hard to rip off. So what are you gonna have to do to open this bag is get you a pair of scissors or a knife, and you're gonna have to kind of cut like right here, like kind of under the word Caesar or kind of above the dog head. You're gonna have to take you some scissors, like once again, or a knife, and like I said, cut along above the dog head or right below the word Caesar, or maybe right here at the top, because that's the only way you're gonna get it open. Because I tried, like I said, you could try as many times. Like as you could see, it's not gonna open. Like if you literally try to take it and peel it off, it's not gonna open. So to open this, it is easy to open. You just have to use scissors or maybe a sharp knife, and like I said, you can either cut it from the top up here, or you can just kind of slice it in the middle here. And then once you get it cut open, like maybe at the top or in the middle here, you can get you a plastic cup and put it in there to scoop some food out to put in their bowl. So that way you're not trying to pick up the big bag and pour the big bag in the bowl, if that makes sense. So I recommend using a plastic cup or maybe like a little measuring cup or some type of other scooper to scoop the food out and put it in their bowl. And then you could just use this, you could just leave the scooper or the plastic cup in the bag. So the next time you come back to give food, all you got to do is just scoop it again and put it in their bowl. But this is a really good healthy snack. Well, not snack, but this is a really good healthy dog food, especially for smaller dogs, due to sometimes smaller dogs do have a hard time digesting their food versus big dogs. I know my dogs sometimes. So if you do have a little one, I recommend Caesars. And you can get both beef or chicken to see which flavor they like. She usually eats both. She prefers beef, I think, but she eats both. So you could get, whichever flavor you would like to see what your dog likes. And, let them know what they like. Now, one recommendation is, now I don't remember to do this all the time, but I try to remember before I put this in her bowl, is to clean out their bowl. Like wash their bowl like you would normally when you wash the dishes. but don't put it in the same sink as your dishes because you don't want to get dog stuff and all that on your normal dishes. So wash your dog's bowls separately. Like if you have dishes in the sink, move your dishes to one side. Use the other side to wash your dog bowl with your dish detergent or whatever. And then once you get done, dry them off. Clean out the sink so you can get any dog hair or gook or whatever dirt that was in that bowl. And then you could, if you want, you could convert your dishes back over to the other side. Once again, you don't want to get any type of dog hair or dog slob on your regular dishes. That's why I recommend, doing their stuff separately, while their dog bowls separately. When you washing their blankets and stuff in their cage, don't wash that stuff with your clothes. Wash it separately by itself because you don't never know what's on them. It could be dog hair, poop, like you just never know. That's why I recommend you washing your dog stuff separately, because that's what I do for her. Because you just never know what's on it. Like you might look at it and be like, oh, there's nothing on her bowl. Her bowl is just dirty. But you don't know that for a fact. It could be dog hair, slob, because they, you gotta remember when dogs are eating, especially when they drink their water, you gotta remember, like, they use their tongue. They can't use their hands like us. So make sure that's one good condition. You could preferably do it. They say to do it, when I Googled this, they say to do it before every meal. So before you pour their food in their bowl, if they don't have food in there, they say to wash their bowl before you put the food in there. But sometimes I forget. So sometimes I at least try to do it like once or twice a week. To help me remember to wash their bowl, because I don't remember to do it all the time. They say you should do it after every meal or before you pour their food in their bowl. But I don't really remember. That's why I said try to remember to do it. Maybe wash their bowl once or twice a week, or after every other meal, like after you pour their food in the bowl and after they ate it all, before you pour the next one in, wash their bowl. Their hygiene, you got to remember, their tongues are like, our tongues are dirty and stuff. Like our tongues get germs and everything. But I heard, like, on research in Google, I heard dogs' tongues, now this could be wrong, they have twice as much slob and dirt and bacteria in their mouth as humans. Like, you think our tongue is dirty? Yes. Their tongue is worse. That's why they say try not to let them lick your face, or you can let them lick your arm. But that's why they say don't try to let dogs lick you in the face, because they say their tongue. Now, I did hear people say their tongues are cleaner than our mouths. Like their mouths are cleaner than ours, but I don't really believe that, because, they're dogs. So that's why I recommend washing their bowl at least once a week, or maybe after every other meal. So like when you pour their food in the bowl, like let's say you poured their food in the bowl Monday and they eat, and then you pour it again Tuesday. Maybe wash it like on Wednesday or Tuesday, you'll figure out a schedule for yourself, but just make sure you're keeping their dog bowls clean. Because sometimes I do forget, and then when she gets done eating, I'm looking at that bowl like, ugh, her bowl is nasty. So just make sure you are cleaning their dog bowl and pouring their fresh little Caesar's food in there. But this is the Caesar's brand. This is the chicken flavor. Once again, like I said, they also have beef. Let me know down in the comments down below, what do you think about this food for your dog? Now, I do recommend, if you have not been a dog parent before and you want a dog, after you get your dog, I do recommend you going to your like when you go to the pet store to pick up the dog bowls and stuff like that, I recommend asking the owner of the store, what should I feed my dog? What brand of food? Because usually they could tell you. Like, that's what we did for our dog. Like, once I got my dog, before we came home, we stopped at the pet store and I asked him, I said, hey, what food do you recommend for my dog? I gave him the breed. I told him it was a Yorkie. girl, boy, they don't really care, but they, tell them what breed it is, and they will usually be able to help you and tell you what food they do recommend getting for your dog. But that is the, I say this wrong all the time, but that is the rotisserie, there we go, rotisserie chicken flavor by Caeser for your dogs. Once again, they do have this in the beef flavor. If you have enjoyed this video, please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe and leave your comments down below.